Everybody, Invisible Katana here doing a reaction to the Resident Evil Netflix live action trailers. So this will be a video in two parts because I actually did my original reaction to the second teaser trailer on my live stream, which is Invisible High. You guys can check out my channel there. I thought that was the only one. I figured, oh, it's teaser trailer number 2. That was, oddly enough, that was the first thing that came up. That's what I saw other people reacting to, as number 2. And then I realized the official teaser trailer, or I guess the official teaser number 1, also came out like a couple of days ago. So for whatever reason, they both came out pretty much at the exact same time. I saw official teaser number 2, and I thought that was just a new one. So you guys will be seeing that reaction first, because that was my first actual look at anything live action for the new Resident Evil series. So I figured you guys should see that first, even if it's the second trailer. And then we'll be jumping back to me just doing the natural recording, and I'm going to be checking out the first official trailer, which seems to actually show a little bit more context for the story. Because the second one, I did a lot of speculation based on what little I knew from the script, or what I've heard. This seems, I mean, I've literally only seen like the first second. Seems like it'll give more context to the actual characters versus just showing the flash forwards and stuff. So you guys can check out my initial reaction to it, and then we'll be coming back here. We shall see what happens. So we're gonna end this amazing music, and we shall see what happens. And this crazy thing that's so loud to me. Already bad start, personally, but hey.
An antidepressant that cures OCD, lowers anxiety, and increases focus. But the drug contains the T-virus.
So, Resident Evil is my favorite franchise.
Can make monsters.
All right. I forgot that this was jumping back and forth, so I was like, well, that's very Resident Evil. Like, okay, they got the spiders. I'm not gonna lie, they got the spiders, which no one has done. The liquor looks pretty good. I like chainsaws and zombies. Okay. At the very least, they went with bugs. That's nice. Bugs and arachnids. July 14th. Okay. I doubt anything. Yeah, it's the usual stuff. All right. So I'm gonna mute that, but we'll just start from the beginning. So of course it's like classic sort of deal. I didn't know that you could do that, and it still be muted. I didn't know that. We'll make it low. We'll make it low. So it's like a random drug that just kind of is. It's a drug that is, and then it's a T-virus that makes monsters. So it fits. I will say this. Umbrella, if you play Resident Evil 3, it's literally like one of the puzzles is that like Umbrella, being kind of like the super secret overlord of Raccoon City, they did have that medicine. It was one of the commercials in the game, and it was like, oh, it's a medicine, it's there. And so that kind of fits. For anyone who doesn't know the story of this, by the way, the black guy is Wesker, Lance Reddick, if I'm not mistaken. He's Wesker. He is Wesker. The woman that they show during the flash forwards, like you can kind of tell the main female characters because they'll probably have solo shots like that. Those are his 2 daughters. So with them jumping around like this, I assume they show both of them, but it could just be her because that looked like it was her jumping all the way through. But he does have 2 daughters. Although no, I think she had a different hairstyle. Although no, maybe not. That seems like it could be just showing one person. But he has 2 daughters. One of them could be dead. Maybe that's the case. I don't think that is. I think they are both technically in the future timeline. And this, I don't know. Visually, I think it looks cool, but it doesn't feel. It doesn't look Resident Evil. I'm like, okay, I can see, future apocalypse where people are still dealing with zombies, and it's the classic look. It's in fact the look of the post-apocalypse of the live-action movies that came out, or at least the third one, because after the third one, where like the whole world died for some odd reason, and it was like everything, like the oceans like dried up, and it was literally like a desert world. And then the next movie came out, and it wasn't like that anymore. It doesn't matter. Don't watch any of the live action Resident Evil movies. You can watch the first one. The first one is good enough. And after that, it was just like, no. 3 I was okay with because I was like, it got to the point where it was like, one, I enjoyed. 3 was just so far removed from Resident Evil that it was just like, sure, I'll watch it. We'll see what happens. And I actually enjoyed it because I was like, I expect nothing from this third movie. After the second movie, I expected nothing from Resident Evil Extinction. And I was like, okay, like clearly the world ended, all that stuff. It ended. And then, like I said, movie number 4, the world is back. I don't know. They don't, that's just pointless. And then Welcome to Raccoon City. I have reviews on that if you guys want to check out my main channel. This one right here, Invisible Katana. I need to see more.
So we know what goes on the warning label.
Honestly, that's like my big thing. I kind of need to see more of what they have. Let's play some music that I want to hear. I don't know. Also, I don't know why my thing is being dumb today. OBS won't do my effing transition. It's literally like one of the installments. It's not fancy. It's just like I want to do a Lumen Wipe like up and then Lumen Wipe down. It grows and it shrinks, and it's like, no, it's just, it pops in. Anyway, this doesn't make me hate it, because there's nothing, so far, there's nothing to hate from this trailer. I'm just annoyed in the general sense of, why do they keep changing stuff? Why does Wesker have to have 2 kids, and then they have a future timeline, which, you know, you never know how things are going to play out, but the way they make it seem is like, a lot of characters, like, she probably won't exist in the future timeline. She might get killed as things get crazy. But other characters in this little boardroom meeting that we're going to see here, those characters are probably going to end up surviving. And, you know, some of them, at least. And so, you can see who else someone said she, but the woman that was in the board meeting. And it's just one of those things where it's like, I just don't know how to really feel about this. This woman, though. It's possible that they're the only 2 people in the whole room that actually matter. Everyone else is just, you know, they could just be like background meeting person. But obviously you have Wesker. I don't know who she's going to be. Honestly, you know, they got the Umbrella logo. That's pretty neat. I like the design of that just because it has like the red on the sides, and it's like, that's actually kind of cool. It's not just like white and red like Umbrella. It's actually got like a little hue to it. I'm like, all right, I can appreciate that. Design wise, I think that's pretty neat. It's the Umbrella logo. That's cool. All these people, they're dead. That's Wesker. He's important. I don't know who she is. They might do something real. I mean, they're changing everything. They could be like, it's Marcella from Resident Evil 5. I'd be like, she's wearing a dress. Whatever. What do I care? So they're selling it as a pill. The pill has the T virus. And they're doing like the experiment on the city. They're controlled. You know, it's like, see right there, even his face is just like, that's a bad thing. Like, I'm sure somebody at some point in Resident Evil was like, oh snap, that's crazy. But not Wesker. Like, he knew what he was doing. Like, Wesker is like bad. It's just, he bad. That's it. Wesker. And this is like, man, like, well, that's crazy. This is science. What could that mean? And so they're kind of, I mean, Wesker is like the main character. So they're making it, you know, they're obviously alternate universe, all that crap. They're changing his role of importance. So I guess he'd be the one to really figure that out. Then we have like our future state. Excuse me. That's great. Whoever that is at the bottom there, because there's actually a person right here. He gone. I got a sound effect for that guy. Ouch. He's dead. Let's see. Is it? That's, you know, you gotta have the Cerberus. That's classic. Like I said, the liquor actually looks good. I like the, you know, like just the crazy difference in color. You got like the reds, and you know, the almost looks like there's like blood showing through the veins. That's why it's gray. It's almost like blue, where they said like your blood is kind of tinted blue before it touches oxygen. And it's almost like you can see the blue blood. That's kind of what that looks like. Otherwise, it's just kind of blue. Which either way it could be. It's just, you know, the tendons, whatever they want to do, brain matter. I mean, it is an inside out person basically. So it's interesting. Classic zombie. Bunch of people shooting future state stuff, and it's like, okay, you know, I guess we'll see what happens there. Multiple liquors. That's always something. This right here, I find very interesting. Because in Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, the one everybody hates, Wesker does have a kid. He has one son who is yet to return, who should totally return in Resident Evil 9. Especially with the route that they're currently going, is like, if there's ever a character to meet to like bring back. It's this guy. Like, this kid has Wesker's powers, not to his full extent, but he has enhanced strength. Also, Sherry should be in Resident Evil 9 because like what they have in 6, they should definitely carry over because they are the lineage of like these superhuman characters, and they should totally interact with our newest character. You know, trying to avoid spoilers here, but it is what it is, or who our next character might be. Anyway, Wesker does have a kid, and his son does have enhanced powers. This is not a jump a normal person can make. Now, it could easily be cut, and we don't see that it's actually water she's jumping into, or like maybe that's like a part of a bridge that's cut off or something. But the way it's shown, of course, kind of makes it look like she is trying to jump to like that car that's down there, or past the car even. So that kind of hints to me that if not both his daughters, at least one of his daughters will have acquired a lot of Wesker's abilities, if he has that in this series, which I would assume he would, but that was me going off of the video game, and she don't exist in the games, so I guess none of that stuff really matters. I was thinking about his powers in the game and what he does, but with him being the main character, I'm also kind of like, I think his daughters are going to be the good guys, and then he's going to be kind of classic Wesker. But at the same time, they're going to find some way to be like, I made a mistake. Like, they're going to try to redeem him. And it's that classic thing where it's like, why are you doing that with the character? That's not his thing. Redemption is not Wesker's thing. But neither is having a back and forth timeline in a future state. And I just don't know. Like, I don't know. They got freaking Cyberdyne systems rolling around. Chainsaws are awesome. Groovy, of course. It's perfect timing. But I just don't know. And once again, the aesthetic is the classic aesthetic that I like. I would assume that this is, them kind of touching at least a little bit like, hey, like Resident Evil 3, giant earthworm. It probably wasn't technically an earthworm, but a giant worm. And it's like, okay, here we go. It's like, I can appreciate that. I can appreciate like the look. Sure. But that doesn't mean much to me, considering what in the world this thing is. So July 14th, we will see what happens. I highly recommend, as always, just go with the CG stuff. All right, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I want to hold out hope, but it's Resident Evil live action, and that goes the way it goes, and it's always been unfortunate for us. I just hope this time it's different. I'm gonna see. I'm not gonna look at anything. I'll probably watch some other trailers. This might be my only reaction to it, but I'll watch some other trailers and we'll see what happens. But I just don't know. I genuinely I just don't know about this one. All right, so that was my initial reaction to the trailer. I'm sure that's exactly what you probably expected. Live action Resident Evil. Here we go. Second look.
Billy, Jade, welcome home.
I'd like to build the world a home.
I really think you guys
Okay.
are going to love it here.
New Raccoon City 2022. It's looking like some Citizen Brown type stuff. It's a Back to the Future reference for you guys. $2036, okay. Yeah, okay. That one I would say I like more. It seemed more menacing, but I think it's just because it went boom like 1,500 times. So I can certainly say that I like that one a whole lot more. So 2022 and then 2036. It still doesn't really show much for me. It almost makes it look like he's kind of using their blood, so I would assume that makes them immune. I talked about this, in the other part where it was like that giant leap that we see still looks like oddly impossible, So there's that. And I don't know. And I pretty much called it in the other trailer. Both girls could still be alive, but clearly they are focusing just on one. So we'll just have to wait and see. I feel like Netflix is definitely going to claim me because I pretty much didn't talk the whole time through that very first one or through this reaction. So we'll see what happens, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't. It does a little bit more. Honestly, it does a little bit more because it does help. Well, no, it doesn't really help with context, but it does kind of give you like a bit more of a look into. It's definitely just going to be the older daughter, or well, I don't know who's older or whatever, but only one daughter seemingly will be alive, which I want to say I feel like that was talked about really early on, where they basically explained like it'll be the story of one of the daughters set in the future, and it was like, okay, well that means the other one's dead, but it doesn't. Nothing ever actually means that, even if that's how they kind of portray it. It could just mean that it's her story in the future, but her sister is still alive, or it could be flashbacks. She could be dead, just like a lot of other people that are definitely going to die. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. I feel like all the disappointment from this is about the same as the other trailer, so there's really not that much to say. I mean, this one doesn't, unfortunately, this one doesn't even have like the creatures to be like, oh, the Laker looks nice, or oh, spiders, finally some respect. But you know, it's just, it is what it is. We can check out a couple. I'm just gonna read a couple comments here. Let's see. It's actually impressive that Resident Evil can be anything now. They just need to have few zombies and a few zombies and an umbrella logo there. I feel like they need more than that personally, because I feel like it just doesn't work. This very top comment is, it's genuinely impressive how RE movies keep fumbling such great source material. I agree with that. And this is going to be a show, which means it'll be even longer. Even longer. Great comment. A wise man once said, it's genuinely impressive how RE movies keep fumbling such great source material. That's a really good comment. I just don't, I don't get it. I just don't get. It's Resident Evil. It's simple. It's about as simple as it gets. Honestly, I think Resident Evil could potentially be one of the cheapest things, because all you would need is one actual location. If you found like an actual mansion that had that aesthetic, it might be a little tougher now because people actually update aesthetics of most places. But I just don't get it. I just don't understand. I don't get it. I just don't. You know, there's no, just once again, all I have. Ouch. Because that's all I get. That's all I feel. That there's nothing in these trailers that's like Resident Evil, aside from the actual monsters in the other trailer, where it's like, it's cool to look at those because that does look cool. It's like that looks nice, but it looks nice in a thing that's trash, much like the last Resident Evil movie, where I was like, you know what's great? All of these beautiful references. They make a reference to the first, not the first Resident Evil, but the remake of Resident Evil on the GameCube, where they have like the zombie lean up in the body bag and get shot in the head. That was such a spoilers, I guess, but that was a reference that happens like at the end of the movie, towards the end of the movie. And personally, I was like, that's the craziest reference. I was not expecting them to do like the opening pseudo loading ether screen, because it literally has nothing to do with the game. It's just a scene that starts and it's just a zombie moving around in the body bag, and then it leans up and then it gets shot in the head, and that's it. I don't know why they put that in there. It literally has no context to the game, unless that's a rune that I don't remember being in the game, or somehow I just always skipped it. But to the best of my knowledge, that scene has literally no context to anything in the game. It's just like the starting screen when the game turns on. It's a zombie moving around, leans up, gets shot in the head. They had that reference in Welcome to Raccoon City, and it's just like, that's such a great reference, as are many other things, visual and otherwise, in that movie, to all the games, musical references even, and not just the Moonlit Sonata. They have like literally the first reference in the whole movie was a reference to Go Tell Aunt Rhody from Resident Evil 8, or from Resident Evil 7, sorry. And I was like, wow, that's cool. I barely caught it, but it's like, you know, she's playing on the little thing, you know, Pop Goes the Weasel thing. I guess it's not a music box, whatever the crank music box is, we'll call it that. And so many great references. Loved it. Loved them all. And the movie's just the worst. And I don't know. That one really got me because of how good the references were. That's what makes me hate that one so much, because it hurts so much more when you realize they dug deep to get all those amazing references and all those visuals, and yet somehow the characters are the worst thing. But you dug for those references. And I don't think this even digs for references, so I might not be as hurt. I might not, you know, I'm already going into it where they're like, Wesker has 2 daughters. I'm already like, whatever. We'll see what happens. But it's not like it looks like it'll be that great. But also, it could work. I like the future setting. Like, that's the thing. I love the look of the future setting, which I didn't say it because I just thought I was being real generic, real basic American dude. But I thought it looked like London in the first one. I was like, I feel like I've seen enough shows set over in London to be like, that kind of looks like London streets. But I was like, nah, you know, it's just like Europe, you know, European type stuff. Like, nah, it's probably nothing. But it's like, it is actually set in London. So I was like, okay, that might do something for me. Visually, for me, that's different. Haven't been there, never lived there. I always like seeing it because it's different. The streets look different. You know, things are just different. So I like that. Will that matter? Who the F knows? But they just keep effing doing it, but they don't care to do it the way we want them to. I don't get it. But whatever. We have another Resident Evil thing coming out live action. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Thanks for checking this out. We'd love to know your thoughts on this. I technically said this in my live action thing, but I didn't know that this second trailer was there, so I was gonna cut like that ending that I randomly did, and now I did that for nothing because there was a second trailer to react to. So official ending, because I thought I had one, but here we go. Would love to know your thoughts on all things Resident Evil live action, not just this, but the movies. How'd you feel about them? You know, what good fan movies are out there? I mean, obviously the fans are the ones really doing it. Like we like each other's work, so share your favorite like Resident Evil fan stuff. You know, share the comedic Resident Evil stuff. I saw one on TikTok where it was like the dude was walking around like it was RE2. It was fantastic. It's a great video. I wish I knew the name, but just share like favorite Resident Evil fan videos, favorite Resident Evil memories. We can just talk about the good times because they're gonna keep doing this for some reason. Resident Evil somehow is like the most live action given for. They're just like, Resident Evil live action, here you go, and not once did they just effing stop and just give us what we wanted. And it's the most insane thing. This is the officially now the 8th live, not obviously not counting live action commercials. This is the 8th live action experience that we've been given for Resident Evil. We've had a 6th film franchise, the new one that were they even, I'm assuming that was supposed to start a franchise. I couldn't tell you because I'm like, they did the movie was such an insane mess with them combining the games together. It's like, did they expect to have a sequel? Because this was like a million things at once. I don't know if they, I don't know, but either way, we had the new one, and now we're having this as a TV show, which is another. I mean, there's like 4. Well, I mean, we don't have to get into how many universes there are for Resident Evil, because like there's comics and the manhwa and all this, like everything, like there's tons of things that contradict each other technically. So I don't know if you go with like the novelizations or the thing, who knows, but the point is we have a new universe and they're just doing something crazy again, and I just don't, it just doesn't make any sense. I would love to know your thoughts, so please put your comments down in the comment section below. Let me know your favorite parts, or just let me know what you guys think. I don't know if it's worth saying favorite parts, these favorite parts. We'd love to know what you guys are thinking. I want to be pleasantly surprised. All it has to do is be as good as the first Resident Evil movie. And I know for some people that's like literally saying nothing, but for me, there's at least some entertainment there. There's something. I genuinely like that first movie. It just has to like be right there. But I don't think it's going to be over the top enough to get us to that. But it could be with the future setting. There may be hope. I might be wasting my time wanting hope. But this is what we have again, somehow, in live action. We need a good live action TV. Apparently that's where we're at now. Live action movies have been saved officially. They're all right to good. Like Sonic is, I think, great, both of them. I think now what we need to do is concern ourselves with great video game TV shows. People like Sonic Boom. That show is actually funny. But we need something good. We could do Resident Evil. I said it earlier. We could just one season per game. That's all it takes. A couple hours a piece. It's so simple. I'm gonna go to sleep because I'm tired. I want to know what you guys think about this trailer, the other trailer. all things Resident Evil live action, all things Resident Evil. Like I said before, let's think of the good times. Resident Evil 4 remake, I still wish it was a Code Veronica. I know a lot of people do. I'm like, you know, it's not because Resident Evil 4 is like, oh, it's Resident Evil 4. Just go in order. Like, I just want to see Code Veronica more than I want to see Resident Evil 4, because I've seen it so much, because it's been released 100 million times, even if it wasn't a full remake. Just Code Veronica. Make that dark side moment with Steve surviving canon. Bring him back. Bring back Billy. Where the F is Billy Cohen? I've wanted to see Billy forever. I thought he was going to be in 6 because it was in Africa. 5, I'm sorry. Because it was in Africa. I remember reading that in the Game Informer, like, well, Billy Cohen. Last time we saw him, he was talking about Africa. Things were crazy. We're going to Africa. And I was like, man, bring back Billy Cohen. Bring back Rebecca. There's so many people. They need to bring back Jill. They need to bring back Rebecca. They need to bring back Billy. They need to bring back Jake and Sherry. I mentioned that, but they really do. Like, every character that's been in it, I feel like has been out of it for such a long time. We need people coming back. Who knows what we're getting with this Resident Evil 8 DLC? I'd say it's a great time to be a Resident Evil fan, but it's a cautious time. Every time we're headed towards another live action experience. So we go forward. We'd love to know your thoughts. Thanks for checking this out. Please put your comments down in the comment section below. And let's just hope together. Let's just hope together that it's good. We want Resident Evil 3, not Resident Evil 3 remake. That's what we're going for. Like, don't give us remake live action. Give us just original that is good. I want it to be good. And I hope it is. Thanks for watching.